It was back on May 29th that Roseanne Barr made the tweet about Valerie Jarrett that put a screeching halt to her mega successful reboot that gave a voice to middle America.
And I was so sad that people thought it was racist. And then I went into the whole thing about the whole discussion of racism, and that blew my mind because it's so much a part of what the show I was doing was about. And I'm like, why can they not see my work? And then I got really messed up thinking, in this world, it seems as if words matter more than actions, but in the real life world, actions matter more than words. And my actions over 30 years as an artist and a comedian, I've always been against the abuse of power towards all marginalized groups. But now I feel like both the left and the right have marginalized the middle.
And now, if one of you said something like that about me, that might hurt my feelings, but this isn't what keeps me up at night. What keeps me up at night are those families being separated on the borders,
right. Yes.
Or our children going to, right?
Yeah.
Or our children who go to school worrying about whether or not they're going to be safe, and the parents who drop them off. I mean, these are the things that keep me up at night, not a racist tweet or
single-handedly destroying the world. How about that?
Yeah. So racist tweets and profane videos, no, not so much.
Although, in retrospect, Valerie Jarrett is a very public figure, and Roseanne was pulling from an old tradition of comedy roasting where anything goes.
The greatest moment I remember in your career was when you said to Pat O'Brien, "The Gipper is dying." I thought it was a fish. Now, the Gentile gentleman here had no idea. A kipper. That's a Jewish fish. Don't be dumb. I hate a dumb guy.
Or at least it used to, until the social media gods began picking winners and losers based on their political leanings.
When I go outside now, I was so scared to go outside because I'm like, everyone thinks I'm a racist. You know, and I live on an island where it's all brown people. I'm like, oh, hell, you know. My daughter says every day people come in and they're like, we know who your mom is, and all these things like that. And I go out on the street and people just rush up to me to tell me they love me and they don't think, you know, what happened was balanced to the other people that do worse things.
And as Roseanne begs for forgiveness and explains herself, comedian Dan Harmon, proudly flaunting infant and female rape humor, calls for the murder of Americans sickened by his twisted display of our First Amendment rights, by labeling us Nazis and fascists, threatening to murder all of us for using our freedom of speech, as brought to us again by Black Pilled's Devin Stack.
The discourse is over. The war has begun. You're not talking to Nazis anymore. You're not talking to people that want to entertain the notion of being a Nazi anymore. You don't want to talk to people that want to circumscribe the concept of Nazism within a Socratic dialectic about whether Nazi. They're Nazis.
So that was Dan Harmon, the same Dan Harmon who made that simulated baby rape video.
And you die if you don't say you're not a Nazi!
If you think pedophilia is a problem, well, you must be one of those Nazis, and you need to be killed.
29% of the people are Nazis. You're not getting out of this. We have fascism. It is happening. We're dead, maybe. Or maybe they're dead.
He is spelling it out for you.
That is what this civil war, and I promise you that's what's brewing, is going to be all about. And it's over. The discourse is over. We have sat, we have talked, we have argued, we have pondered. The discourse is over.
And James Gunn support only grows after Disney parted ways due to his pedo Twitter humor.
YouTube has banned us live streaming, not just on channels that InfoWars runs, but even sub-channels that crew members set up that we'd used as backups. So they're not even following their own rules at this point. They do not want us reaching millions of people every week over live streams on YouTube. They want us shut down ahead of 2018. The election's only 3 months out. Folks, I have a stack of news of congressional candidates, of congressmen, of congresswomen who are putting out their campaign videos on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and being banned. okay? Members of Congress, where they're shooting shotguns and talking about their family, or where it's a grandma, a congresswoman from Tennessee talking about her grandkids, and talking about how they're endorsed by the NRA. It's all being banned.
Even Stuttering John is lashing out at InfoWars, Alex Jones and Mike Cernovich, jumping into the left's mob attack, spewing half-truths based on secondhand gossip that will only result in dividing average Americans even further from the cacophony of self-important emptiness tweeting itself from the lowest depths of Hollywood. You think Facebook Zuckerberg lost $100 billion for nothing? People are leaving in droves and moving on to the next platform. And the same goes for the entertainment business, as future generations have pulled the plug on mainstream media. Ultimately, it's the First Amendment that is the victim here, as Silicon Valley, the socialistocrats, and Hollywood's far left kidnap and weaponize freedom of speech in order to forward their own political lunacy, hastening their race to the bottom. John Bound reporting.